Okay, let's jump right in. Welcome to this explainer, where we are going to distill the absolute best wisdom from 4 of the world's leading financial experts into highly actionable rules you can use right now. We're drawing from powerhouses like Tiffany Alish, David Bach, Ramit Sethi, and Morgan Housel. But look, rather than just reciting their individual theories, we're synthesizing their distinct philosophies into one ultimate cohesive master framework. If you already follow the world of personal finance, you know there is a ton of noise out there. It's overwhelming. So our goal today is to cut right through that noise, combine the most effective strategies into a single roadmap, and help you dramatically optimize how you manage, invest, and think about your money. So let's start by acknowledging a deeply stressful question that so many of us secretly harbor, even if we're generally pretty financially literate. And that question is, why am I so bad with money? Whether you're navigating complex investment vehicles, trying to figure out your tax strategy, or honestly, even if you're doing exceptionally well on paper but still feel incredibly anxious about future market downturns, this universal friction inevitably pops up. Even the most seasoned savers experience financial imposter syndrome. But the absolute truth you need to hear right off the bat is that you aren't inherently bad at this. You just may be operating on a patchwork of outdated advice. Returning to foundational master frameworks is simply the best way to quiet that anxiety and regain total clarity. To replace that anxiety with true empowerment, we've broken this down into a neat 5-part roadmap. We'll start with the truth about your finances. Then, Rule 1, master your budget. Next, Rule 2, fix your mindset. After that, Rule 3, start investing now. And finally, Rule 4, automate your wealth. All right, let's get moving. Part 1, the truth about your finances and how we finally overcome financial anxiety. Our first rule comes from financial educator Tiffany Alish. Rule 1 is all about mastering your budget by shifting from a restrictive mindset to a highly proactive one. Let's be real. The traditional concept of a budget brings up immediate negative connotations for almost everyone. It feels restrictive, it's confusing, and honestly, it's pretty shame-inducing. It essentially functions as the financial equivalent of a crash diet, a rigid system you're practically destined to cheat on and eventually just abandon altogether. But Tiffany Alish pushes us toward a massive, and I mean massive, psychological shift, the personal spending plan. Moving to this concept is incredibly freeing. A spending plan is proactive, it's empowering, and it's crystal clear. It's not about punishing yourself or arbitrarily telling yourself no. Instead, it's about actively telling your money exactly where to go before the month even begins. This ensures your capital is deployed efficiently so you can actually enjoy your life without all that lingering guilt. Creating this spending plan requires breaking down your cash flow into 4 deliberate steps. But the real magic here is in the nuance. Step 1 is assessing your income. Now, this means calculating your true, predictable net income. You've got to entirely strip away any bonuses or variable side hustle money so your baseline is rock solid. Step 2 is tracking your spending. And no, this isn't just glancing at a credit card statement at the end of the month, it's actively auditing your actuals versus your projections. Step 3 is where Alish's framework really shines, categorizing those expenses. Rather than a messy list of 30 different subcategories, she advocates for a strict division. You isolate your absolute baseline needs, the things required to keep your life actually running. Then you clearly define your financial goals, like investments and debt reduction. Everything left over, that is explicitly categorized as wants. Finally, step 4, review and adjust. A sophisticated spending plan is dynamic, right? You review it monthly, tweaking the ratios as your income grows or your strategic goals pivot. Now, a huge part of optimizing the spending plan is identifying your cash flow leaks. It is absolutely astonishing how much capital is drained by vampire subscriptions. Studies frequently show that the average consumer underestimates their monthly subscription spend by literally hundreds of dollars. We're talking about unused streaming platforms, forgotten gym memberships, auto-renewing software you haven't opened in a year, and those monthly box subscriptions that just pile up in the corner. For anyone serious about wealth building, auditing these recurring charges is a high-level cash flow optimization tactic. Eliminating just a few of these silent drainers immediately frees up capital that you can redirect right into compounding investments, rather than padding some tech company's bottom line. This seamlessly transitions us to our next pillar, Rule 2, fix your mindset, focusing heavily on the psychology of money. For this rule, we're leaning on the brilliant insights of Morgan Housel. He points out a fascinating reality. Building a healthy relationship with money has to happen independently of the actual numbers in your spreadsheet. As he perfectly puts it, it's not about what you earn, it is entirely about understanding the emotional and psychological forces that drive financial decisions. The core takeaway here is that your behavior with money, your reactions to market volatility, your ego-driven purchases, your inherent risk tolerance, that matters far, far more than your technical intelligence. You simply cannot out-earn or out-invest a fundamentally flawed money mindset. This brings up a profound concept from Housel regarding the psychology of enough. We so often tie our entire self-worth and our day-to-day happiness to a constantly moving target, right? We tell ourselves, oh, I'll finally relax when I hit a specific net worth or achieve total financial independence. But the really dangerous thing about moving those goalposts is that you systematically destroy your current happiness, regardless of your wealth. Understanding what constitutes enough for your specific personal lifestyle is what prevents that endless cycle of comparison. Fixing this internal narrative lets you realize that wealth isn't just some arbitrary milestone in a brokerage account. It's a state of mind that grants you the autonomy to enjoy your journey right now. Which leads us perfectly into the mechanics of actually building that wealth. Rule 3. Start investing now. Diving into the concepts of conscious spending and aggressive saving. Rule 3 draws heavily on Ramit Sethi's highly effective conscious spending plan. He simplifies your entire financial ecosystem into 4 definitive buckets. And what makes Sethi's framework so powerful are his recommended target ratios. He suggests optimizing your life so that your fixed costs, that's your housing, utilities, debt minimums, consume no more than 50 to 60% of your take-home pay. Then he pushes for a minimum of 10% allocated directly to investments and another 5 to 10% into savings goals. So what does that leave? A massive 20 to 35% of your income completely dedicated to guilt-free spending. By mathematically constraining your fixed costs and front-loading your investments, you earn the absolute right to spend aggressively on the things you love without a single ounce of guilt. Investing is a foundational, non-negotiable habit. Getting your money into the market consistently is what allows compound interest to do the heavy lifting for you. Finally, we reach our ultimate goal with Rule 4, Automate Your Wealth, where we take all these distinct frameworks and engineer them to run completely without human interference. This final rule is anchored in David Bach's renowned strategy, specifically his principle of paying yourself first. An automatic economy is a financial ecosystem where your saving, spending, and investing all happen in the background. It goes through routing systems without requiring a single drop of your daily effort or willpower. Bach's genius is in the pure mechanics of it, the exact moment you get paid. Before that money ever even hits your primary checking account where you can see it and be tempted to spend it, it is automatically routed. Your 401k contribution, deducted. A portion is automatically swept right into a high-yield savings account. Another percentage gets deployed directly into your brokerage. By removing yourself from the equation entirely, you eliminate decision fatigue and behavioral errors. Your wealth quietly and aggressively builds in the background, while you get to focus your energy on your life and your career. Having walked through these 4 synthesized rules, mastering a proactive spending plan, fixing the psychological trap of moving the goalposts, implementing conscious spending ratios, and engineering an automatic economy, the knowledge you've gained in this explainer requires immediate application. So here's the real question. What is the very first automated money move you are going to make today? Will you audit your payroll deductions to increase your investment rate by just 1%? Are you going to set up an automatic sweep to capture excess cash flow at the end of the month? Pick one specific element of your financial plumbing, automate it right now, and begin your true transformation toward absolute financial autonomy. Thanks for learning with me today.